Hi guys, Mike back again with part 2 of my Forge World Storm Eagle Gunship build log. So we know the base is done. So base is there, ready. Was drying now, and be ready for paint soon when that's dry. As are the Terminator squad, so they'll be ready for priming and painting. But then the big job is putting together the Storm Eagle. You do get instruction sheet, which is pretty basic to be fair. I mean, if you're not familiar with the Storm Raven, the Games Workshop Storm Raven plastic kit, I'd just say I'd go through the instructions quite carefully because there's lots of little bits. I mean, it's not a fully laid out instruction book. They kind of assume you know what you're doing. And where all the bits go, because it is a mix of resin and plastic components. I mean, it could be a bit confusing, but as long as you sort of take your time, you'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, like I said, not a very thorough instruction guide, but if you've built a Storm Raven, you kind of know what you're looking at. So these are all the resin bits on the front, and like I said in the previous vid, you get the 3 out of the 4 plastic sprues from the Storm Raven as well. So what I've been doing tonight is cleaning up resin, basically. My my resin cleaning tools basically are clippers and files and the sanding sticks, which I really like. They're not as severe as the files. A hobby knife and a couple of different sets of pliers. And yeah, and we've been cleaning off resin, so loads of resin dust comes off. Big gates of resin chunks. So there's quite well, not very much really. That's off the whole kit from a resin perspective. Also use a razor saw to cut some of these big chunks off. I mean, you're never going to get through that with a knife or a pair of cutters. So you do need a razor saw as well for some of the larger chunks. And once you've done that, once you've cleaned it up, cut the gates off, sanded it, filed it, etc., it needs to be washed. And I've been through the washing process before, but this is kind of my washing station, if you like. So in this little bucket here, I've got resin bases for my Terminators, and I've got the resin shoulder pads as well for 5 of the Terminators. And just want to move that. And in the big bucket here, we've got the resin pieces of the Storm Eagle. I keep wanting to call it a Storm Raven, so I'm noticeably pausing every time I say Storm, because I'm going to say Raven, but I do mean Eagle if I... So this is all the resin bits for the Storm. I've done it again, Storm Eagle. So, I mean, once it's been washed, so I'll let this soak overnight. Once it's been washed and scrubbed, I'll get onto the de-warping stage. Which is the interesting bit, because we need to mix plastic and resin components together. And like I said, there's a load of plastic bits. I mean, I've already cut some of the plastic bits off just to see the fit within the resin components. And I've got a feeling that the fit, so you'll see that we've got resin flooring, the resin hull, the fuselage sides. So this is all resin. The front what do you call it? The hatch, the opening, that's plastic off the kit, and the top of the fuselage is plastic. So I think fettling the plastic top onto all the resin bits is going to be a bit of a pain. And in fact, it says there, some trimming of plastic components required for perfect fit to resin hull. So we'll see what that looks like, and I'll let you know. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, you use the plastic wings with the resin ailerons. So yeah, it's not too bad. But yeah, it does. It's a shocking kit, but I'm reckon it'll look all right once I finished it and painted it up and stuff. So we'll see. We shall see. So so that's it. So yes, we're on. So we've done clean up, and now we're on to soaking and washing and scrubbing, etc. So yeah, it's all part of the hobby process, which is quite cool. And I'll show you what it looks like once it's all cleaned up. So I'll see you in a sec. Okay guys, we are on the next day of this build, and all the resin parts have been soaking overnight in washing up liquid and warm water. Obviously the water's gone cold overnight, but that's fine. Just before we look at that, the base now is completely done, you know, ready for primer. So that's fine. I tend to prime the stem as well. I prime it black and leave it black. I think it looks quite good, but anyway, that's just personal preference. So that's done. I've given this a coat of watered down PVA, like I said yes on the last video, and all the gravel and the sand is solid now, and the wooden stick, you can't see it, so that's good. So that's that done. So like I say, we've been washing some parts. This is going to be my drying station. So we've done all the 10 bases for the terminators and the 5 shoulder pads. I need to complete the 5 terminators that haven't had shoulder pads. The keen-eyed amongst you'll notice there's 11 bases there, but this is like the champion's base. I'll probably put the banner bearer on this one, this larger base, and it's got this section that goes on top there. So yeah, we'll do that. So they've had a good soak and a good scrub. I'll just take you into the bathroom where I'm doing what am I doing? Clean up. So I'm going to put you in the bath actually, so we'll have a look, see if this works. I don't want to drop my phone in the water because that'd be bad. So yes, I think you've got a view there. There we go. It's kind of a view anyway. So I've refilled this bucket up with warm soapy water, and again now it's just time for scrubbing. I tend to use an old toothbrush and one of these nylon brushes that you can get in any kind of DIY shop. I think I bought these from a cheap shop, but they've got quite a nice rough nylon bristle, so that's quite good for cleaning resin. I've got a little sieve just to put the smaller components in so nothing goes down the plug hole. I've got the plug in the bath, and then I've got another tub here full of cold water just to rinse stuff. So basically I'll go through each part. I'm not worried about de-warping at the moment. Clearly that needs de-warping. But that needs de-warping. All we're worried about at the moment is cleaning. So what I'm going to do is just basically just give it a good old scrub. These large flat sections tend to hold on to mold release quite a lot. So, and again, this is going to give it a good wash as well from all of the dust and stuff that you cut off it previously. And again, you know, you just get in there, give it a good scrub. I'll probably do it, give it a rinse, and you can feel it, to be honest. It's you'll be able to feel whether there's release agent still on it, especially on these flat, smooth pieces. But this feels pretty good. Like I say, we're going to need to sort that warping out, but we'll do that in the next stage. So I'm going to carry on with this and catch you on the next one. We'll catch you in a second anyway. Okay guys, we're back again and everything's been washed. So this is, like I said, the drying station. So we've got all of the components, the resin components for the Storm Eagle done and kind of just drying off. There's a few little warpy bits. I mean, clearly the big chunks of resin are not going to be warped. They're going to be absolutely fine, so we don't need to worry about those. Things like the door. I thought, I just think I said in a previous video, this bit was on the plastic sprue, but it's clearly not. So, I mean, there's warpage there. Again, it's easy to fix, but it's just going through the individual bits to make it fit. Coupled with having to match it with plastic components. So it's a little bit more of a, well, it is a bit of a challenge. I know when you've got resin on resin, it's sort of a different challenge to resin and plastic. So, but most of it is looking pretty good. I mean, these side bits here don't look warped. They look okay. Clearly the rocket launcher sections are not warped. like I say, the big chunky bits won't be. I think this is okay as well. The hatchway for the ship itself. The flooring is warped, and the sides are warped as well, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to call this one a video now. This is kind of done. This is where we're ready to start building it now. So we've got plastic components now, and we're just basically going to follow the instructions. So for the first bit of build, we need our engine sections, our resin engine sections, and we need the plastic forward and aft section of the engine, I should say. So just for an example, just have a look. So we've got this bit, and I've chopped this bit off and just filed the bits off. So this is going to fit quite nicely on there like that. So I mean, it's going to be quite a, it's going to come together quite quickly, I think, and it will just be the hull, basically the fuselage, the floor, and the sides for some massive fettling and de-warping. So yeah, I'm just going to sort of start putting it together, and I'll catch you on the next video. But I'll kind of show you in stages of where we are and what we're doing and how to de-warp resin components. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. So we'll go from there, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.